always have a lot going on. We're getting ready to have our ghost walks. They happen on October 24th, 25th, and the 31st. They are from 6:30 at night until about 9:30. They leave from the Bordley History Center, 301 High Street, and we schedule walks for every 15 minutes. So they start at 6:30, 6:45, 7, etc. So call for reservations and come learn about the history of town with a little bit of spookiness that goes along with it. You know, because there's more to history than meets the eye. It's every story that we tell begins with a true fact, and then it gets added on. This is our 5th year of doing the ghost tours, and the first year we went out, we were walking around, and a lot of homeowners came out and said, well, you know, yes, somebody was murdered in this house, and do you know we have a ghost? So we started collecting more and more tales of what's happened because of the very often horrific events that has occurred in the house. But for the most part, you can come every year and you're going to get a fresh group of stories and the fresh, you know, history that goes along with it. We're constantly discovering new history. You know, I know that's an oxymoron, but it's you know, it's true. There's different things that we find out all the time. People come and say, did you know? And so we'll sit them down and we'll talk and we'll get their story and go back to the papers and, you know, find the truth in it all. And we are getting ready to move the library and our offices from the Geddes Piper House to the Bordley History Center on High Street. We are going to move them to the 2nd floor, and we're hoping that this makes the library and our services that we offer more available to people. We're easier to find on our location, in our location at High Street. We have attracted a lot of attention since we started having events here and exhibits at the Bordley History Center. And people who've lived here for 70 years suddenly say, we didn't know there was a historical center. We didn't know there was a historical society. When we consolidate our location and put our library and our offices upstairs, we think that it'll be a lot easier for people to find us and get to us. Right now, our library is on the 3rd floor of the Geddes Piper House, and that's a lot of steps. Right now, things are very much up in the air about the Geddes Piper House. There is a chance that we may need to shut it down, at least in the wintertime, and we also, it might come to the fact that we have to sell the Geddes Piper House. We exist entirely on donations. We do get grants to do programs and for research to help with our website. None of that pays for any administrative expenses or any utilities. Also, all grants come with a match, and in this day and age, it's 100% match. So if we get $1,000 from, you know, a grantor, we have to find the $1,000 to match it for a $2,000 project. And with the fact that we have 2 buildings and 2 sets of expenses, our income hasn't gone up. So that's really something that has been weighing heavily on our mind. It's not an easy choice to make. The board has been really trying to, you know, find the best way to handle the situation. Recently, a letter went out to our membership letting them know what our situation is. You can visit our website, kentcountyhistory.org, and our phone number, my information is on there, my my email address is on there, and you know, be happy to talk to anybody who might have ideas, who can volunteer, who's interested in donating. and we're open to everything at this point. We just had our major fundraiser for the year, the Chestertown Historic House Tour. This year we went a little different route. We had a lot of Victorians, the Painted Ladies of Chestertown open. Again, the Ghost Walk's coming up. We're getting ready to send out our annual appeal letter for donations, and then we probably will not have another fundraiser until the winter time, when we will have, we usually have a cabin fever party, and we use that as a fun fundraiser. Also, I think it's very exciting of the fact that the Historical Society of Kent County is the only place in the world that's collecting the history of Kent County. It's always very exciting for me to discover something that has happened here that has affected the nation as a whole. A lot of movers and shakers came from Kent County, especially in the 1800s. There were a lot of politicians who were very important and very active, who helped form our government and society as we see it today. When I started with the Historical Society, my predecessor had been trying to collect some Black history. There's a lot of history in this county that we don't know about. One of those holes is Black history, and when we go out and start talking to the people in the community and letting them know that, we're serious. We want to collect their history, we want to make sure it doesn't get lost, then people open up and they start telling us things. And we are slowly starting to get a nice collection from the community. We have added a lot of books to our library about Black history in the area and in the Mid-Atlantic. We have started offering, we recently co-sponsored a program with the library, the public library, about how to research African American history. The other parts of history that we don't have a lot, like I would like to move forward in finding, women's history. There were some very important women from this area, and we don't know about them. Even the everyday women who stayed home during the wars and took care of things, farmers' wives, we don't have that information, and I'd really like to find researchers who would like to volunteer their time and get that. Hispanic history. We don't have a lot of information on that, and it's going to get lost before we know it. Those are a few of the other areas I'd like to spread out and have researchers start gathering information and bringing it to the library. We are always looking for volunteers. We're looking for volunteers to help man our shop at the Bordley History Center, the little shop on the corner. It's not a huge money maker, but it does help support us. We are open Fridays and Saturdays, and we ask volunteers to volunteer just 2 hours a week of their time. We have the need for people to help us put together exhibits. Right now at the Bordley History Center, for example, we have the War of 1812 exhibit, and we have an exhibit on the history of the land in Kent County, the environment. So we look at everything to do with Kent County. So if researchers, we're always looking for researchers. If you just want to come in, silver, come help us polish the silver. There's always something that we can find for you to do.